This is the RE200, Germany's fastest regional train running along a brand new high-speed railway line that opened back in 2022. It's a record-breaking route for regional trains in Germany, but despite its impressive speed, trains remain surprisingly empty. Delays in construction, limited capacity, and issues with infrastructure may have gotten this service off to a rocky start, but that's going to change very soon. So join me today as we ride this unique regional train along the Ulm to Stuttgart high-speed railway line, while we take a look at the service's exciting future and how it's been impacted by one of Germany's most controversial infrastructure projects. We begin our journey at Ulm Hauptbahnhof, the main station serving this important university town in the German state of Baden-Württemberg. The city itself is perhaps most famous for its Gothic cathedral, which is sort of visible from the train station if you look between the buildings. But we are not here to see that. Instead, let's go catch some trains. Unfortunately, the station at the time of filming was under heavy reconstruction, with most of the station's facilities temporarily relocated to this container box. Luckily, the station's best feature is still in action. But to get there, we have to use this new overpass that currently acts as the main gateway to the platforms during construction. Ulm Hauptbahnhof is served by trains in all sorts of colors, including trains in DB Regio's red livery, the blue DEZIRO HC trains in Averio's colors, and Baden-Württemberg's yellow Bewengt livery. So many colors for all the different regional trains here. The station also sees many ICE long-distance services call here on their way between Munich and Stuttgart. Many ICE trains now also take advantage of the high-speed railway line towards Stuttgart that we will also be traveling on today, such as this ICE 4 that's now departing for the newly constructed fly-under that allow trains to go easily in and out of the station without disturbing other train traffic. And speaking of construction projects, the station is undergoing massive upgrade works as both the station building itself was in need of repair, but also the railway infrastructure itself, with the old signaling system needing total replacement. So much so that Deutsche Bahn has planned to shut down the entire station for almost a full month in 2026. Despite the main underpass at the time of recording leading to pretty much nowhere due to the construction, it remained open, allowing you to use the station's best feature: the luggage conveyor belt that are still functional here in Ulm. They used to be common all over German and other European main stations, but my recent experiences with them seem to suggest they are mostly out of order and becoming a more rare sight. Anyway, enough about the station's features. Around 40 minutes before scheduled departure time, our train appears in the distance, having just come off the high-speed railway line, finishing its run from Wendlingen. The service is operated using top and tailed Siemens Vectron locomotives capable of 200 km per hour. Both Vectron locomotives are in a paint scheme promoting the RE200 being the fastest regional train service in Germany. In between the Vectrons, the train features 5 former long-distance intercity and interregio carriages, now painted in DB Regio red. However, this rolling stock is only temporary, and we'll talk more about the upcoming brand new trains after we depart. The new trains will bring a lot of benefits, including the possibility to officially bring bikes on board, although some fellow travelers today managed to get around that restriction on this older train. Right, I think it's about time we head on board the train and go find a seat. As with most regional trains in Germany, it's not possible to reserve a seat, so we are free to pick any available one. And on this departure, that looks to be no problem. In the end, I went for one of these airline-style seats in the combined first and second class carriage. One thing to note before we depart is that only a few select seats and carriages have power outlets, so if you need to charge up, make sure to pick the right seat from the beginning. A few moments later, we depart Ulm Hauptbahnhof a minute behind schedule at 15:30. The new high-speed line towards Wendlingen starts immediately after departure, as we dive into the underpass and head for the first of the many tunnels on this route, So while we are in the dark, let's take a closer look at the route map for today's journey. Today we're catching the RE200, which runs for just 60 kilometers along a new high-speed railway line, making one intermediate stop on its 30-minute long journey to Wendlingen, giving the train an average speed of 120 kilometers per hour. However, this service is really just a precursor to a full route going all the way to Stuttgart, but as the current railway line from Wendlingen to Stuttgart is too congested, it has to terminate short. Eventually, however, it will be replaced by the brand new high-speed RE1 service, running all the way from Karlsruhe via Stuttgart and Ulm to Friedrichshafen and eventually Lindau, which we'll touch on more later in the video. The new RE1 service will be operated by brand new Coradia Max double-decker trains from Alstom, capable of 200 km per hour, making them the fastest regional train in Germany, as the two other high-speed railway regional lines in Germany have decided to order this slightly slower Siemens Zero HC for their future services. We emerge from the almost 6 km long Albabstieg tunnel, now having reached our train's maximum speed of 200 km per hour. And soon, those brand new Alstom trains will be doing the same, but before that can happen, one of Germany's most controversial and delayed infrastructure projects must be finished, which we'll talk more about later in the video. But first, let's check out the seats on the old trains. These carriages are fairly old and used to be common all over long-distance transport in Germany. They have standard amenities like reading lights, which is very handy on this route as about 50% of it is in tunnels. The seats themselves are equipped with a storage pocket as well as a tray table, although this one had definitely seen better days. A bin is also provided by the window, and the seat can be reclined using the button in the armrest. Despite the seat's age, a good amount of padding remains, making the seat rather comfortable. They are definitely a bit tired, but overall they are fine for this 30-minute hop. A few moments later, our train begins to slow down for the only intermediate stop, Merklingen, where we meet with the other RE200 train, which together with ours provide an hourly service in both directions. This is the only intermediate station on the high-speed line that's currently open and served by regular trains. The station is exclusively served by the RE200, with the faster ICE services passing through without stopping. And now as we rejoin the high-speed line and get back up to speed, let's go take a look around the rest of the train's interior. The carriage we're traveling in is actually a combined first and second class, with first class coming in compartment seats like this. The seats are largely similar, with the main difference being the headrest. As we head into the rest of the carriage, we get to second class. This comes in an expected 2+2 layout, mostly airline style seats, but again there are a few tables. At the other end of the carriage there's one more first class compartment as well as a dedicated train crew staff compartment. The next carriage is a lot more conventional, just being second class throughout in a 2+2 layout. At the ends of every carriage you'll find the train's toilets. While this particular one wasn't spotlessly clean, the main functions were working, including the train's flushing system, as well as the water supply. Although the train did seem to have run out of soap. There's definitely room for improvement, but you could get your business done here if you had to. Back at my seat, our train is now passing through the Swabian Jura mountain range, which is where a significant portion of the line's tunnels are located, with the train emerging from the tunnels for a brief moment, offering some great views of the nature. This also means our journey is now hastily coming towards an end, with our train beginning to slow down to take the junction of the high-speed railway line. Which is actually pretty cool, as it happens inside a tunnel where you can then see the high-speed line continue up on this embankment. And the reason for the train line currently ending here kinda in the middle of nowhere is that the last bit of the high-speed railway line towards Stuttgart is not ready yet. The last bit of the line into Stuttgart is part of the controversial Stuttgart 21 project, a heavily delayed infrastructure scheme to completely rebuild the city's main station underground. It's been plagued by cost overruns, protests and engineering challenges, and it was meant to open in 2019. But it's likely gonna take another year before at least some of it opens. So right now, this service pretty much only runs to serve Merklingen Station and take advantage of some of the completed infrastructure. In the end, our train pulls into Wendlingen a couple minutes ahead of schedule after this interesting journey on Germany's fastest regional train. A quick and easy transfer is available here to the frequent trains continuing all the way into Stuttgart's old main station, such as this Metropol Express service operated with Bombardier Talent trains. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel as I try to post a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Blue Sky at intercitysimon.com. I usually post live from my travels in real time over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.